Okay, I think we're live. Let's see here. It is 1:16. Well, I'm late. Sorry about that. It is 1/1/2026. So it is officially 2026, a new year. It's good to see everybody in here. Hope everybody is having a good night, good early morning. Happy New Year to everybody. I just figured I'd come on here and do a quick live. See how it goes. Because I was off for a couple weeks, I wanted to come on and do a quick update on some of the cases and maybe go through some of the last year's cases, especially the missing, and see what's going on with those. But anyways, good to see everybody. Hope everybody's well. Good to see Leader Joe. Good to see Carol in here. Shibby's in here. I thought you were doing a live, buddy. Good to see Shibby though. Good to see V's in here. Good to see V. Okay, Shibby ended his live. Okay. Good for Shibby. Shibby's awesome. We've got a great live. Haven't been over there for a while, but hopefully I can get back to some semblance of normalcy here. Unindicted conspirators in here. Good to see unindicted. Happy New Year for sure. V's in here. Let's see here. Lisa Joe's in here. Good to see Lisa Joe. Boston Christian's in here. Always good to see Boston Christian. We got Becky in here. Mustang. There's Mustang right there. And there's Jocelyn. Hey, Jocelyn. Good to see you. Honeybee's in here. Where's Honeybee? Good to see Honeybee. Hope you're well, Honeybee. See here. Drank too fast is what he said. Not drunk, only drunk too fast. Yeah, tonight's a good night to get hammered. Chuck's in here. Good to see Chuck. Let's see here. Brian's in here. Good to see Brian. Brian Pino's got a great channel too. If he's not on his channel, he's probably over there, Manimals Chat. But anyways, good to see everybody. Let me play an intro, and then I'll be right back. But good to see everybody. We'll get started here eventually. Sorry I was late. Hi, baby. All right, so let's play the intro, and I'll be right back. Good to see everybody. All right, so we're here. Brian Pino's got 800. Let's see. Hold on a second. He got 889 subscribers. So let's see if we can get him enough to get to the 1,000. Got a great channel over there. If anybody has a channel, feel free to throw them in here. I like to promote other channels because it's important. Who else? Pertinent's in here. Good to see Pertinent. I've seen Tracy's in here. Tracy's somewhere. Where the hell is Tracy? Tracy's right there. Good to see Tracy. Like I said, there's a lot of great channels. Chuck's in here. Mustang's in here. Like I said, if you got a channel, feel free to throw it in here. All right, so let's get to this here. I want to go over this missing girl here down in Texas here, and I think this is not going to end good here. Hold on one second. Let me find um, the one that I wanted to play here. Let's play. This just sucks. It's just an awful, awful thing. Um, uh, let's play this one here. All right, let's hold on. Let me share this here. Get rid of my face here. Very good. Um, I've been following this case here since last week, since we covered this last week here. But apparently, there was two girls that were missing at the same kind of time here. The other one, I think, was found alive, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, we'll play this. This was done 7 hours ago. So the Bexar County Sheriff's Office has announced that a body, which may be that of the missing 19-year-old Camilla Almost, has been found. Does anybody know if they've ID'd her yet or not? And she was discovered just minutes from her home, I think, near the corner of Bent, Sin, and FM 1560, just a few hundred yards from her home. Investigators say the body that was found matched Camilla's clothing description, but have not yet identified. So this was done 7 hours ago. This was done technically last year. So let's play this here. Whoops.
Said there was no foul.
Hold on. Let me rewind this. All right, here we go.
Sheriff's Office confirming a body has been found near an area where authorities have been searching for missing 19-year-old Camilla Almost.
The body found near the Wild Horse subdivision at a landscaping company on the northwest side. News 4 San Antonio.
It's been confirmed. Oh, this sucks. This is so horrible. Oh my God, this is terrible stuff. You hope for the best, just well, what are you gonna do? I think they confirmed today, so very sad. I think so too, but I haven't seen. Well, let's play this here. Hold on a second.
Antonio's Taylor Warmby joins us live where the sheriff just wrapped up a news conference.
Also, unfortunately, I've become obsessed again with the Godfather trilogy. Like I've been watching it, especially the first and the second one, over and over and over again for the last 2 weeks. So I've become obsessed with these things over time again, and it's just trying to figure out why. If anybody's familiar with the Godfather trilogy, why Tessio flipped. But anyways, that's just my bane. Okay, so here we go with this here.
Taylor, bring us up to date.
Jonathan, Mandy, the sheriff says the body was found close to the home where Camilla Almost lived. Now, the sheriff holding a news conference just after 5:15 tonight. He said it is too early.
This is just like literally heartbreaking. Like I've been following this since she disappeared. Literally, I think it was. She went missing right before Christmas, right? So, and they've had like thousands of searchers and volunteers, and she's like hundreds of yards from her house. Just awful.
Early to confirm if the body found is that of Camilla Almost, but he said there were signs that indicate that it could be Camilla. The sheriff said there was no foul play suspected in the body that was found, but there was a gun found nearby, and the sheriff said that gun belongs to a family member of Camilla's.
So, heartbreaking, her uncle's weapon apparently, and it was known she was in crisis. Yeah, I kind of got a hint of that the last press conference. I think did we play that early Sunday morning? I think we played that early Sunday morning, where there was kind of like a hint about that. But like I said, you kind of hope for the best. Like maybe she's hiding out at a friend's house or something like that. But this is just awful.
One of the possibilities that we were working under was the fear of self-harm. And at this point, there are are some indicators that the body that we found may be as a result of that. Obviously the medical examiner will have to make definitive identification.
The body was found near a landscaping business located along FM 1560, which is not far from the family's home. Now, the sheriff says they are waiting on the medical examiner to determine the cause and manner of death, which could take a day or two. We'll keep you posted and follow this as it develops. But reporting live in Taylor Whartonby, back to you.
Taylor, one of the things that the sheriff discussed was whether the person that they found was wearing what Camilla was described as having worn when she disappeared. Can you talk a little bit about what he said?
Absolutely. He said the description changed a little bit, but the body that was found does match that description. So that's why they believe this is Camilla. But it has to be confirmed, of course.
All right, Taylor, thanks a lot for that. And of course, the sheriff also mentioned they're hoping that that will be an expedited process as well.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Today's discovery was, as we mentioned, made by a landscaping company near the family's house.
It was an area search crews had been to before. It has tall grass, but FBI agents and Bexar County Sheriff's Office deputies today decided to go back and check again. News 4 San Antonio's Destiny Fuller is live. And Destiny, what are you seeing right now?
Mandy, Jonathan, we're right over here off of FM 1560, just behind me. This is not exactly the scene that we saw when we first got here. There was only one sheriff vehicle, but since then, we've seen several roll in here. We've also seen groups of friends, families, supporters, some of the more familiar faces that we've seen ever since Camilla almost was reported missing on Christmas Eve. When we first got here, we were told that we weren't allowed to go onto the drive of the burning bush property. We were turned around and we parked on the opposite side of the street. But as I said, we've seen a lot of people start to show up here, a lot of traffic starting to build up here on this road. We know that there was a weapon found around the area, and we also know that this was an area that was searched before. People asking what happened, the sheriff saying that they did have someone come through and explaining exactly what caused them to come back.
Joint team comprised of BCSO deputies and FBI agents were conducting an open field search of a field where we had already checked once before, but due to high brush, we made a conscious decision to head back out there and check again.
Is that in San Antonio? Is that the Burning Bush landscaping business? That must be the one in San Antonio. Hold on a second here. I'm assuming that that's that one there. Because I've been trying to find this location for the longest freaking time.
Again, they found what we believe to be a body at this point.
And while they're not exactly sure who that body is, Sheriff Javier Salazar said it will take a couple of days to identify whoever that person may be. Again, adding that there was a firearm that was found with the body and with the Camilla Olmos case. There was an undisclosed weapon to the public that they found as well. And they're saying that it's going to take a couple of days, but it was hard to see Sheriff Salazar get choked up, just explaining that Camilla had a couple of things going on in her life and that she was having a tough time. Again, they're not entirely sure exactly who it is. It'll take a couple of days to have that information. Mandy, Jonathan.
And the sheriff did say this is not the outcome that we were hoping for. The fact that it could be Camilla is something that is a distinct possibility. As you mentioned, Destiny, she had so much going on in her personal life. She was a 19-year-old. It's the holidays, that she was going through a hard time with a breakup. What exactly was he saying about that, the sheriff?
I mean, you hit the nail on the head. He mentioned that a really...
Thank you, Becky. Trying to get that. I mean, it doesn't matter now. It doesn't matter if I find the location or not, but this is just awful. It's just sad, terrible.
Relationship had recently ended. She was a student. She was going through things at school. She was going through things with family and friends. Typical things that you would expect to hear from a 19-year-old. Again, we do not know for sure that this is Camilla Olmos, but one thing that I can confirm is that right after that press release, when...
Let me know if you want to wrench, Becky. Thank you again for that.
Sheriff Salazar finished talking, that clear alert that was put out for Camilla was canceled.
All right, Destiny, thanks a lot for that. Also worth noting, the sheriff getting emotional at times during that press conference as he updated us. One of the other updates that he did in an unrelated case, there was another teen who was missing, a 14-year-old, Sofia Gabriela Peters Cobos. That was a separate incident, but the sheriff confirming that that teen has since been found safe, is with family.
Okay, so that's what I wanted to know, that there was another missing girl, but she, hold on a second, let me back this up a little bit here.
Teen who was missing, a 14-year-old, Sofia Gabriela Peters Cobos. That was a separate incident.
Peters Cobos, so she was found, I think she was younger, 15-ish, I think. She was found alive, so that's good news, right?
But the sheriff confirming that that teen has since been found safe, is with family.
However, 17-year-old Angelique Johnson, who has been missing from Exeter Road near Petrenko since last week, she is still missing. They are still looking for her.
But again, the headline tonight, a body has been discovered or was recovered roughly about 4:45. The sheriff giving us an update right now. No positive identification that it is, in fact, 19-year-old Camila Olmos, who's been missing for the better part of roughly a week or so. But they did mention that there was a gun.
All right, so let's hold on. Let me get out of this one here. It's a big area. It's a big place. Is it this one here? Yeah, okay. So this was done 5 hours ago. So this was this is quick. This is 48 seconds here, but this one is saying Camila Mendoza almost update. Sheriff's office confirms body found is that of the missing girl. So this is the confirmation here. Hold on a second here. Let's go.
Tonight, the Bexar County Sheriff's Office has confirmed that a body found last night in a field was that of missing 19-year-old Camila Mendoza Olmos. Sheriff also confirms that the teen shot herself and the death has been ruled a suicide. Olmos disappeared from her home on Christmas Eve.
Oh, that's just awful. That's just terrible.
In a case that got national attention, the sheriff's department says that the body was found close to Olmos's home, and during the search, sheriff's deputies and FBI agents decided to scour that same field again because of high brush. Throughout all of this, the sheriff's office was aware that a firearm belonging to a family member was missing. Authorities believe Camila took the weapon with her on the morning of Christmas Eve. When she disappeared, officials have not confirmed whether that firearm was.
I mean, they had like hundreds and hundreds of searches going on. So there was, in my opinion, some sort of a rush to find her. I think they knew a little bit more than they were saying, but it's still terrible.
Was recovered yesterday.
All right, so let's go here to this one here. Hold on.
What is the news that no one wanted to hear? Bexar County Sheriff Javier Salazar.
So this is coming. This is neighbors responding to this. This just sucks.
Are confirmed to me actually this afternoon that a body found yesterday is that of 19-year-old Camila Mendoza Olmos, and the sheriff says she died by suicide.
Trina Weber stopped by her neighborhood as people were preparing for the worst.
It's a face that launched nearly a week of intense searching. Images of Camila Mendoza almost missing from her far northwest Bexar County neighborhood spurred people to action.
We're always, keeping our eyes open, trying to, remember, do we see anything?
I mean, you literally just want to throw something. That's how angry this stuff makes you. It's just, I'm not blaming anybody. I'm not going to blame anything. I'm not going to, and it's just, it's 2026. You would think that there'd be, I don't know. It's just, it's worse this way here. I think this is just a terrible tragedy. This is a bad news. I mean, she was 19.
That might be a lead.
Betty Jo Blitz kept watch for the 19-year-old, although she wasn't able to take part in the searches. Camila disappeared from her home near Wild Horse Parkway and Braun Road the morning of Christmas Eve.
But the community really did rally together, which I was glad to see that, anybody that was available was coming out.
It all touched Blitz's heart. Now she's heartbroken. Investigators found a body Tuesday afternoon.
Camila
has literally captured the attention of the entire nation.
By morning, Sheriff Javier Salazar had posted his suspicions to social media. Later, he confirmed that it was Camila, dead by suicide. Just one day ago, this parking lot was full of volunteers ready to.
Paula, this is a triggering. Apologize. I should have said that early on, but this is just terrible.
Search. Now they're all gone. Perhaps an outward sign that their hope for a happy ending is too.
We do have answers, not the answers we wanted.
It's also not what Camila's family wanted to hear.
Caring person, lovable, like she was, all her friends, awesome.
We spoke to her father a few days ago, then still full of hope. He last saw her the day before her disappearance. What kind of mood was she in?
Oh, she was all there. No.
So this was recorded 12/29/2025. So obviously this was before.
Regular mood, happy or smiling.
He says Camila also had plans for the future. We've confirmed she was a student studying business at Northwest Vista College. In an email, a spokesperson said the campus community's hearts are heavy. She also said there's no planned memorial there for Camila at this time. Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Yeah, I mean, give the family some, time here. This is awful. It's terrible. We'll play one more, and then I'm going to try to. Actually, let's do this first here. Hold on. No, we'll do this right now. Hold on.
We do start with breaking news tonight. The Bexar County Sheriff's Office confirming a body has been found near an area where authorities have been searching for missing 19-year-old Camila Olmos.
The body found near the Wild Horse subdivision at a landscaping company on the northwest side. News 4 San Antonio's Taylor Warmby joins us live where the sheriff just wrapped up a news conference. Taylor, bring us up to date.
Jonathan, Mandy, the sheriff says the body was found at close to the home where.
Okay, so let me see if I can find one more here. I'm trying to find one about the other girl that was missing, but I don't think I have that. I played that one. Hold on one second. I'm trying to find. I know Gazella's been doing a really good job on this too. I'll play this one here. All right, hold on. This was done a while back, but I want to play. Nicole's here. Good to see Nicole. Hey, how are you doing? Thank you for coming in. Hope you're having a good New Year's so far. I want to play this one here. Hold on a second. I know this one was done 16 hours ago, but I want to play this one here.
Some huge developments in the case of missing Texas teen Camila Olmos. She vanished on Christmas Eve. We know that a body and a gun were found on Tuesday. She was last seen.
Okay, hold on. Let me. I do want to share some of these statistics here because, I mean, I'm not going to rush to judgment here, but I do want to share some of this here. And this might be a little triggering. I'm going to try to use the right words to say. So instead of the S word, I'm just going to say, I don't know, S. So teen S rates. So this is an AI overview of teen S rates in the United States have generally increased since the early 2000s, though federal recent data from, am I sharing this? Yes. 2022, 2023 indicate a slight decline. S is currently the second leading cause of unaliving for individuals aged 10 to 14 and third for those. So it's second leading cause from, like say 10 through 14, the early teen years, and then third for those aged 15 through 24. So she's in that, 19-inch range here. General trend age 10 to 24. So this is 2007 to 2021. Long-term increase from 2007 through 2021. The S rate among young people aged 10 to 24 increased by 62%, rising from 6.8 to 11.0 per 100,000 population. So obviously that increases the more people there are. Increased recent decrease in 2022. So after 2021, there's been a little bit of a decrease. CDC showed a decrease in S rates for this age group, the first decline in over a decade. I wonder if they have any reason for that. Okay, so this is demographic disparities. Trends vary significantly across demographics here. Girls are more likely to report S thoughts and attempts. Boys are about 4 times more likely to get unalived by us. So that's interesting there. Let me read that again. While girls are more likely to report S thoughts, so they're more likely to report the thoughts and attempts, but males are about 4 times more likely to actually do that. The rates for females aged 15 to 19 doubled between 2007 and 2015. S rates among Black youths ages range 10 to 17 increased by 144%. This is the fastest growing rate among all racial groups. And then there's more data here, but let's see here. All right, so this is some data here. And this, I just did a AI overview of this here. Based on latest reports from CDC's National Center for Health Statistics and other federal surveys. So there you'll see it. These are the groups here. They don't have 2024 yet, but 2023, 10 to 14 declined a little bit. No. 2.5 from 2.3 doesn't make any sense. Then 15 to 24, 13.9 to 21.2. So I don't know what to tell you. Either way, it's got to be addressed. This has been going on for a long period of time. This is some more statistics here. While unaliving rates offer one perspective, the Youth Risk Behavior Survey tracks behavior among high school students, grades 9 through 12. This is all terrible. Mustang's here. Good to see Mustang. Gretchen is here. Good to see Gretchen. Just terrible. It's just awful. All right, I just want to go back to this really quick, and then we'll move on to something else. Hold on 1 second here. Amy G is here. Good to see Amy G. Amy G's doing incredible work, as is everybody else in here that has channels. I haven't been able to get over to Daisy asks, Happy New Year to you too. I know you probably celebrated it a lot earlier than we did, but Happy New Year to you. I'll get back in line with everybody's lives soon once I get back into some sort of a normalcy here. But it's always good to see Amy in here. Good to see everybody. Good to see Gretchen here too. I hope everybody's doing well. All right, let's get back to this here. Hold on 1 second here. Stop that. You're 18 hours into 2026 already. A whole day. It's terrible. Which one am I? This one here. All right, so let's play this one here, then I'll move on to something else.
Leaving her home in the early eve of Christmas morning, the Bexar County Sheriff's Office in Texas says that they found a body that they have not identified yet, a few hundred yards away from where Camila Olmos lived.
Found a body in the field nearby here. At this point, it's too early to tell if the body that we found is that Camila. At this point, we don't suspect how, as you all know, one of the possibilities that we were working under was fear of
I honestly think they were onto this whole self-harm thing all along, but and I think that's why they sent out some sort of a message about it really would help if we found her quickly. But I think that was the mindset, I think, all along, but it's just my opinion. Like I said, you hope for the best, right?
Self-harm. And at this point, there are some indicators that the body that we found may be as
It's just so awful, just sad, it's just terrible. And it doesn't seem like anybody really wants to do anything about it, stuff like this here, but that's just my opinion.
The sheriff added that the clothes on the body matched the description of what Olmos was wearing the last time that she was seen. Now, during the search, authorities released this video from a driver that shows somebody resembling the teenager around 7 a.m. in the morning that she.
I wonder how they figured out that this was her, because it doesn't. Didn't the father come out and say something like that's not her? Maybe because of the clothes. I don't know.
Left her home.
I don't know how you can tell that that's anybody specific. I mean.
Let's talk about this. Let's bring in law enforcement expert and trial consultant Sonny Slaughter and retired NYPD detective and the co-host of the Gold Shield Show, Tom Smith. Good morning to you both. Not the news we were hoping to get. Sonny, your reaction to this news of a body being found, no confirmation that it's her, but an indication from the sheriff's office that there was no foul play involved.
Good morning, Julie. Good morning, Tom. Great to be on with both of you. It is difficult to hear this news. And yesterday I was just talking about this. But I always said that the police know more than they were sharing, and the fact that there was a weapon found near this body indicates.
Yeah, there was. I know of 2, but I've also heard of 3. There was something going on before this girl went missing. Camila Olmos, and that's what dragged me to this here, because I've been following. I've been kind of following the Houston area unalivings too, and then this kind of that dragged me into this. But I think there was 3. I think you're right. I think there was 3, but 2 of them they know of. One was younger than Camilla, but I haven't heard anything else from that.
It's that she took the weapon with her from somewhere. So I think they already knew that. I would be shocked if this is not Camilla, and it's sad news, but we have a resolution potentially if this is her, but we still don't have answers as to why. So this is a sad but sobering moment for all of us when it comes to what people are going through that we don't recognize when they're right in front of us. People are having very hard times, regardless of their age. And if this is her, it is heartbreaking. It is astonishing, but hopefully her family has some closure as to where she is if this is her.
Yes, Sonny. The sheriff's office talked a little bit about the firearm they found nearby. Let's take a listen.
I mean, it's, she's smiling here in this picture and stuff like that, but you never know what's going on. I mean, it's just awful.
Listen to what was said.
I can tell you that we found a firearm very near the body. And in this.
There was a firearm. Hold on a second. Firearm buried near the body. Buried?
I can tell you that we found a firearm.
Buried near the body. I wonder if it was under her. Near the body? It would have to be kind of really close to her. So I'm wondering if it was underneath her.
Very near the body. And in this particular case, we're actually looking for a firearm as well that had come up missing. It was a family member's firearm.
Tom, I'll go to you on this.
Usually, that's how they can tell if it's a, self-harm type thing because, when you do that to yourself, the I mean, the gun is gonna be it's not like you can do that to yourself, walk to a different location and put the gun down and then come back and then unalive yourself. But, so the gun must have been either right underneath her or really, really close.
Sunny made.
I don't know, buried though. I wonder why it was buried. Maybe days. I don't know how long she was there. That's weird how they said buried.
The comment, and she's right, law enforcement always holds back some things for good reason. That was one of those details that we're just learning at Court TV. We didn't know this initially when she disappeared, that a firearm had gone missing from the home. Had we known that, I wonder if our analysis maybe would have been a little different yesterday. Who knows? Your reaction, Tom, to this news?
Well, the police aren't gonna come out and say there's a firearm missing because, if it wasn't self-harm, then that would be just like tipping off the whoever did it that, get rid of the gun. It's stupid.
News, please.
Yeah, it's just sad. Like Sonny stated, we did a show on this yesterday, and this is why you leave all the options open of what could have happened to this young lady. And unfortunately, this is the outcome. The other part of this is going to be interesting of whose firearm was it? Where was it locked up? Why did this 19-year-old have such an easy access to it? So that's going to be additional questions that are going to come out of this, unfortunately. But that has to be addressed. And, like Sonny said, you hope maybe something comes out of this of warning signs that other parents can pick up on, red flags.
I mean, you would think, by looking at her pictures, right? You would think, but they always tell you to smile for the camera, right? Whenever this looks like a selfie, though. But people are, she's always smiling. It seems like she's very happy on the outside, but smiling and stuff like that. But you just never know.
Of their own children that maybe be going through something like this, that they can aid themselves so something like this doesn't happen in their families.
Right. You're right, Tom. It's a tough thing to, wrestle with when you're a family member and someone dies by suicide. If that is the case here, we don't know, no confirmation yet officially, but the facts certainly seem that way. And as you said, the next conversation is going to be about the weapon that was used. We know that it was known that she was.
So they're just going to start blaming people here now. And I don't want to deal with that. That's just, it seems like that's all they want to do is blame people. I mean, there's a terrible tragedy going on, right? And I know you got to answer these questions at some point, but I don't want to get into that. It just sucks. I've been following this case, and you hope, like I say, you hope for good things, but it just, it's horrible. It's horrible. I'll keep an eye on that though. I don't know if they've released any kind of statistics on what actually happened. But I'll keep an eye on it, see if it goes any further than that. But it's just awful, terrible, bad news. All right, so we'll go to this. I don't know if you guys have heard about this here. This has been going on for a few days here. Police investigating a possible unaliving self-harm over in Mercer Island in state of Washington. Mercer Island police are investigating a possible MS at a home on Wembley Lane. Police officers say they were called to the home around 10:45 on Tuesday for a wellness check and observed a body down inside. So this is something I've been following for the past couple of days too. Here we go. This was done 2 days ago.
Sure, about 10:45 this morning, our units were called to a welfare check at the residence that's behind me, about the 8400 block of Southeast 46th Street. When our officers arrived, they observed from the outside of the building that there was someone down inside. They made entry into the building and found two deceased individuals inside. A female, about 70 years old.
One last thing I'll say about that. It seemed like it was really bad for a while, right? I remember the 80s, late 80s, when it comes to some of this self-harm. You heard a lot, maybe it's just me, I don't know, but back then you heard a lot about it. It was more attention to that where it was like happening more and more and more. They made movies about stuff like that. But it seems like it kind of slowed down a little bit. I don't know if that's true or not, but I think there needs to be a little bit more uh, investigations into why things like this happen and see if some of it can be prevented. I don't know. But I remember back in the late 80s, it was really, there was kind of like some sort of an uptick, I think. Or maybe it was just talked about more. I don't know.
Old and a male about his mid 40s. Both were found with obvious gunshot wounds, and at this point, we're still under investigation as to motive, who, all of that sort of thing. We're still waiting for warrants and things like that.
Yeah, anything you can tell us about a possible suspect?
We don't think there's an outstanding suspect. At this point, we're still investigating. We've got our detectives here. We're going to have assistance from Washington State Patrol. They're crime people that are going to come in and process our scene for us. And we're currently working with the King County Prosecutor's Office for any warrants that we might need to evaluate and to look for additional evidence or any sort of motive.
At this point, do you know who you're looking for?
We're not looking for anyone. We believe that both individuals inside, we're investigating this as a potential homicide-suicide. It's very unfortunate. Obviously, this hits our community very, very hard, but that's our investigation as of this point. We are very open-minded. We're looking at all the evidence that's potentially there, but at this point, we're using that as our baseline.
And the people who were found deceased, what's their relationship to the home and each other?
Sure. It's the mother who owns the home, the 70-year-old female, and her son was also found inside the building.
Do you know if anybody else lives in that home?
Not that I'm aware of at this point.
You guys got anything?
The security cameras on the outside, is that something you're looking at?
Well, yeah, we're looking at everything. Yeah, both the security cameras of the residence itself and any surrounding homes that might have surveillance cameras, ring cameras, that sort of thing.
So right now, does the video show anyone leaving?
We haven't looked at the video yet. Unfortunately, we're required to get warrants for a lot of that stuff, so it slows everything down, which is good. That way we don't miss anything.
Can you talk about how unusual this is for this area?
It's not unusual. We do have events that occur like this. They're very far apart, so several years in between events like this. This time of year, unfortunately, domestic violence tends to go up. I'm not sure if that's what this case is. We're still investigating that, but we do see a rise in domestic incidents that occur during the holiday times.
Firearm was recovered in the home?
That is correct. The firearm was recovered in the home. I don't have any details as far as the type of firearm or anything like that.
But you believe that's the firearm that was used in the incident?
That is correct.
And I'm assuming the son is the one who's responsible.
We don't have that information I'm able to release at this time.
Can you say what the officers saw when they first arrived on scene, when they got the first call?
They observed a body from outside the building looking in through a window. They observed a body that was on the floor.
And at that time, they were able to make entry?
That's correct. We made entry and discovered the second body.
I just know in talking to a lot of the neighbors around here, they're going to have a lot of questions. Is there anything that you want to say to them? Just to let them know that this was...
Yeah, I think the most important thing that we want to be able to release at this time is that we don't have anyone else we're looking for. We believe it's really contained to this residence and a really, really sad event that occurred for this family. We're still looking for anyone that might be related to them so that we can make proper notification and things like that.
Have you had any previous incidents at this home or with these people?
Not that I'm aware of at this point. We're still in the beginning stages, and I just arrived, so I'm still trying to get some of that information. That is something that we'll be looking into.
And can you just talk us through the investigation from this point? What happens next?
Sure. At this point, we've got our detectives here and our patrol staff. We're working with the King County Prosecutor's Office. They're assigned us a prosecutor so that we can work directly with them and make sure that we're doing everything by the book within the law to be able to look for and find a motive for this tragic event.
So apparently this is an ongoing thing. I'm going to play the latest on this here case here, but hold on a second.
We're also going to have Washington State Patrol crime lab people come up, and they'll help us process the scene. So they'll look at the firearm, they'll take custody of the firearm, things like that. And then we'll have the ME's office, who will really provide us with the cause and manner of death.
Can you tell us where everybody was found in the home and where the firearm?
I don't have that information.
But was the firearm found near?
I don't have that information.
All right, so let me switch to this. So this one was done a couple of days ago, so it's the first. So 2 days ago, this one was done. So let's get out of this one here and play this one here, because this is an interesting case here too. Hold on one second. So this is a little bit more on this case here. So this, like I said, this one was done 6 hours ago. Details emerge in Mercer Island MS investigation. 4 family members are unalived in a homicide investigation spanning 2 cities in King County, with police believing the MS was carried out between 2 homes miles apart in Issaquah and Mercer Island. So these 2 are connected here. Hold on one second. We'll play this here.
We're learning more about the death of 4 family members in a homicide investigation now spanning 2 cities.
Police believe the murder-suicide was carried out between 2 homes miles apart in Issaquah and Mercer Island. Fox 13's Jennifer Dowling takes a closer look at the investigation so far.
Sorry if I butchered that name, Issaquah.
Jen?
Police have been on the scene of this Issaquah homicide investigation late into Wednesday evening. We also learned that there was a guardianship dispute underway just before this tragedy unfolded.
We never heard anything.
Neighbors in Issaquah and on Mercer Island are still coming to terms with what happened to their neighbors the day before New Year's Eve.
We are all in shock. I can't believe it really happened.
Police say they first found Danielle Cuvalier, a mom in her 70s, at her home on Wembley Lane.
Barbara Hall's here. Good to see Barbara Hall. We got Paula Fitzhenry's in here. Good to see Paula. Good to see Barbara. Happy New Year's to everybody. That's okay. I'm pretty sure you're probably doing a little bit more important things than listening to me. That's for sure. Good to see you. Hope everybody's having a good night. I just wanted to come on and do another extra live here since I've been off for the past couple of weeks to catch up on some stuff here. Always good to see Barbara in here. Always good to see Paula. Hope everybody's doing well. Just going over this case coming out of Seattle. We just went over the Camila almost sad news earlier. So tragedy, just a tragic situation.
Tuesday morning after a family attorney called in for a welfare check. When they arrived, they could see someone on the floor who appeared to have been shot. When they went inside, they found Danielle deceased.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me rewind this here.
We never heard anything.
Neighbors in Issaquah and on Mercer Island are still coming to terms with what happened to their neighbors the day before New Year's Eve.
We are all in shock. I can't believe it really happened.
Police say they first found Danielle Cuvalier, a mom in her 70s, at her home on Wembley Lane Tuesday morning after a family attorney called in for a welfare check. When they arrived, they could see someone on the floor who appeared to have been shot. When they went inside, they found Danielle deceased, along with her middle-aged son, Mackenzie Mack Williams, and 4 guns inside the home and 1 in a vehicle.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Who knew it could happen here?
Neighbors tell us this is one of Danielle's social media pages. Friends say though she was in her late 70s, she was vibrant and helped to tend to the community pool and liked yoga. She was often seen walking her Havanese dog on neighborhood streets.
A little scary, having something like that happen.
Hello, Miranda Lee. Good to see you. Happy New Year to you too. Thank you, Mustang. You're awesome. What's this here? Thank you, Miranda Lee, for putting this in there. Yes, thank you very much for putting that in there. I'm going to try to put that in my description too at some point because it's just sad, just awful when things like that happen and you just wish you could just do more. It's
Met her a few times, but really nice lady.
Meantime, police say that 2 other family members, a man and a woman, were also found dead at this home in Issaquah. Court documents state that this was Mac's address. Documents show that there was a guardianship dispute between
Guardianship, conservatorship of Dominic.
Danielle and her son, Mac Williams. The two were at odds over Danielle's younger son, Dominic, who friends say everyone referred to as Nick. Documents state he has Angelman syndrome and has significant developmental delays.
What the hell is Angelman syndrome? Hold on a second. I've never heard of that before. Angelman syndrome is a rare genetic neurodevelopmental disorder causing severe intellectual disability, limited speech, balance movement issues, ataxia, frequent laughter, smiling, and seizures, often with a happy demeanor. It's caused by the loss of function of the maternal copy of the UBE3A gene or chromosome 15, often from a deletion, and it's present from birth, though often diagnosed around 6 to 12 months when delays are noticed. There's no cure therapies, speech, physical, occupational, and medications help manage system, and newer treatments are in development. So that's that.
Danielle had filed a petition for guardianship of Nick and was granted it in November. Documents stated Nick was removed from his home by his brother, Mac Williams. Mac was then accused of influencing Nick to execute a new power of attorney, naming him as his agent. Williams does not have the ability or authority to
I don't know if they I'm going to play the latest here. So this was done. This has been a developing situation from, I think, a couple of days ago, Monday or Tuesday. And I've been kind of following this and also following the Camilla Almost thing. But like I said, this is kind of has been developing over the past couple of days, and this is kind of new here that they've linked these two homes in Issaquah and on Mercer Island. So that's all I know.
care for the respondent, according to Danielle's attorney. Documents show, though the courts weighed in Danielle's favor, Mac was allowed visitation.
Just feel it's really sad that this has happened. Sad for everyone.
Good to see Big Fish in here. Big Fish is awesome. Great supporter. Always good to see Big Fish in here. Good to see Miranda Lee in here, of course, too. Gretchen, Barbara Hall. We love Barbara Hall. We hope she's well. And of course, Amy G is amazing. What was I was just going to say something. Farmer 2, Peggy O, all the great channels. Jocelyn was in here too a little while ago. I don't know where she went. Jocelyn's awesome too. You guys are all amazing.
Definitely a sad situation, and court documents indicate once again that Mac lived here at this location before he was found deceased at his mother home in Mercer Island.
So he lived here, and then he was found unalived in his mother's home. So let's go. Okay, so that was done 6 hours ago, and we're gonna. I guess I can just do this here. Hold on a second. Right here. Okay, so this was done 4 hours ago. So we're getting closer here. Right, there's that one there. This one here.
Police still outside one of the homes here in Issaquah. Court documents reveal the infighting between family members, specifically between a 45-year-old son and his mother over the care of a man in his 30s, the younger brother, who had special needs. 4 family members dead in 2 homes just miles apart. 80-year-old Danielle Cuvillier, shown here in a public social media post, Mackenzie, or Mac Williams, age 45 of Issaquah, his wife, Harmony Williams, seen here in a photo from her employer's website where she worked as a physical therapist, and Dominic Cavilier, who went by Nick, who we do not have a picture of. Their neighbors have been eager for answers after police found their bodies Tuesday.
It seems to be connected in some way.
Detectives and forensics teams spent Wednesday moving out of the Issaquah home. It started Tuesday afternoon on Mercer Island when an attorney received a concerning email prompting a welfare check. Police found Danielle Cuvelier and her 45-year-old.
Farku's here. Good to see Farku. It's so cheeky. How much more temp? What's going on with Miranda? It's good to see Farku in here for sure.
Son, Mackenzie Williams, dead inside the home with gunshot wounds. As detectives worked that scene, Mercer Island police identified concern for Dominic Cuvelier in Issaquah, Mac's brother with special needs. Issaquah police found him and Mac's wife, Harmony, dead inside the home. Court documents show the family had been locked in legal disputes over Nick's care for more than a year. Records say Harmony Williams helped care for Nick for years and described a close bond between the brothers, with Nick staying at Harmony and Mac's home several times a week. Those same filings detail growing conflict between Mac and his mother, Danielle, over Nick's care. Just 3 weeks ago, documents show Danielle moved to terminate that protection order, restoring Mac's access to Nick, the brother who had a rare genetic disorder that left him mostly nonverbal and required help with daily life.
So it is approximately 15 minutes from Issaquah to Mercer Island. So that's the distance between the two homes that are in question. And I think you got to take, is that a bridge? Well, let me share this with you. Hold on a second here. Okay, so this is an idea of where we are here in Washington State. This is Issaquah here, and then all the way over here, 15 minutes away, is Mercer Island. Can I get over here, you think? That must be a bridge. There's got to be a bridge, or where the hell am I? I need to be right here. Let's go here. I can't get there. I wonder if that's a bridge, or I don't know. It's got to be something, or a ferry or something. Looks like it's a bridge. Yep, that's a bridge. Okay, so let's get out of here. So it's about 15 minutes away. Very strange. Let's go here.
Two crime scenes now sending shockwaves across Lake Washington, separating the homes by about 15 miles, but tying two communities to the same investigation.
My husband and I, we have lived on Mercer Island before, and now we live here on this street. And so I think it's just been really shocking to see that the two places that I've ever lived in Washington both have.
I'll tell you, we had an ice storm here. When was it? When was it? It was, what's today? Today is Thursday? When was the ice storm? Monday night, I think. I think it was Monday night. No, Sunday night. That was the worst ice storm I could ever imagine. I was driving it. It was just literally a sheet of ice, more than a sheet of ice. I came literally inches away from ditching my car. I don't know how I got down that hill, but it was awful ice. It had to be about at least 2 inches of ice. And I went to go climb a hill in the Subaru, and I got halfway up the hill, and I didn't get any further up the hill. So I ended up having to back down the hill. It was a dirt road, and I literally backed down the hill an inch at a time, because anything more than that, I had to ditch the car.
Have had these scary incidents in the last 24 hours.
In January, the mother filed a protection order to take care of the younger brother with special needs. She say the older son displayed erratic behavior and at one point had access to 53 firearms before he turned them in to police.
All right, so let's do this. This is one day ago. I don't know. Hold on a second here. Let me get out of this here. I guess I could play that one too since we're here. That's it. Okay, so we'll get out of this here.
Developing tonight, Mercer Island police discover a mother and son dead inside a home while conducting a wellness check. Officers were called to the home on Wembley Lane around 10:45 a.m. and could see a body.
I'm with you. I'll take the snow any day. Snow is really not a problem. Snow, at least you get some sort of traction on snow. But when it's clear ice, man, the Subaru I got will go just about anywhere. But once you get on that, because you can't see it, it's not like you can. It looks clear, it looks like you can drive on it. But once you get on it, there's just no way to get off of it. It's a sliding thing. All right, so one more of these, and we'll move on to something else.
Body inside. KOMO's Lynn Ann spoke with police and is live from Mercer Island with the latest. Lynn Ann.
Well, Mary, after seeing that body, officers then enter the home, finding an elderly woman and her middle-aged son already dead from multiple gunshot wounds.
It's not unusual. We do have events that occur like this. They're very far apart, so several years in between.
Mercer Island police making a grisly discovery inside this home while conducting a wellness check. A woman about 70 years old and her son believed to be in his mid-40s, both found dead with multiple gunshot wounds.
We believe that both individuals inside, we're investigating this as a potential homicide-suicide. It's very unfortunate. Obviously, this hits our community very, very hard, but that's our investigation as of this point.
Police have recovered the weapon believed to be used in the incident. They're still investigating which of the two is responsible and are looking into a possible motive. They're also reviewing surveillance video in the surrounding area as part of the investigation. But at this point, tell KOMO News they don't believe there are any other suspects still outstanding.
This time of year, unfortunately, domestic violence tends to go up. I'm not sure if that's what this case is. We're still investigating that, but we do.
Yeah, so we know now that those two cases are linked, those two addresses. So the Mercer Island and the Issaquah, both those spot locations are connected. All right, so let's move on to this here. They finally, I think, got this clown. Hold on one second. I'll share this here. So it looks like they finally got an end to this case here. DNA evidence collected 25 years ago leads to the arrest of a man accused of in Lawrence. The SAs here. David Zimbrick was charged with RS and aggravated indecent liberties with a child. This guy here is nothing more than a piece of shit if he's guilty. But let's play this one here. They've been looking for this guy for a while.
David Zimbrick is in the Jackson County Jail, accused of attacking young children at a Lawrence, Kansas park. As KCTV5's Ali Espinosa reports, the breakthrough came from new DNA technology.
Big Fish, have a great rest of the day. New Year's, a lot of good football games on today. So if you enjoy football, especially college football, today is your day. We got the Rose Bowl today. Miami beat Ohio State today, which is amazing. But we hope you have a great holiday, and thank you very much for coming in. It's always good to see you here. All right, here we go.
Technology, the same technology that helped to capture California's Golden State Killer in 2018.
For 25 years, this Lawrence Park has held dark secrets. From 2000 to 2003, a man lured children as young as 7 years old into these woods. Police say he sexually assaulted them.
Children who are victims of sexual assaults like this, it's a lifetime sentence for them.
Monday, U.S. Marshals arrested 58-year-old David James Zimbrick at his home in Raytown, Missouri. He's charged with rape and aggravated criminal sodomy. Back in the early 2000s, detectives collected DNA from a cigarette butt.
Well, Michigan lost? I didn't know that.
But couldn't identify.
This, in my opinion, this is the best time of the year for football. You got college going on, and then you got the NBA player, NFL players that are starting up soon. So,
a suspect. But through genetic genealogy, they did identify his biological mother, who was in New Mexico, the mom who gave him up for adoption after her own trauma.
The mother informed the detectives she was raped when she was a teenager and became pregnant as a result. The child was given up for adoption.
Police say that child was Zimbrick. They say it's a breakthrough that shows even decades-old crimes can be solved with new DNA technology. But for advocates who work with survivors, they say an arrest is just one step in a much longer journey.
It's not like once charges are brought and this individual is held legally accountable, does the healing and the pain go away. That's sort of like a lifelong injury.
Vance believes for the families who've waited 25 years, this arrest brings some measure of justice. And for other survivors of unsolved crimes, it's a message that they are not forgotten.
It doesn't matter when something happened to you, we're still here to support.
Zimbrick is awaiting extradition here to Kansas for a hearing in Jackson County, but advocates say for these families who have been waiting all these years is a reminder that these crimes aren't always erased. In Lawrence, Ali Espinosa, KCTV 5 News.
Okay, so they got him. Let's do this one here while we're here. Hold on a second.
Tonight, a man is in.
Okay, so this is Salt Lake City here. The suspect accused of kidnapping and unaliving a 60-year-old victim allegedly lured in by selling car parts. According to investigators, Jeffrey Mauricio Lopez, 32, was booked into Salt Lake City County Jail on Tuesday, where he faced first-degree felony charges and aggravated unaliving, aggravated kidnapping, and aggravated robbery here. So this has all been on my feed here for a while. So let's get rid of this one here. Investigators claim Lopez showed depraved indifference to human life after investigating this Kevin Van Boge's disappearance. I probably just butchered that last name. So here we go with this one here. Let's go.
Jail after Harriman police say he allegedly kidnapped, murdered, and buried a 60-year-old man in a shallow grave in Tooele County.
It's a shocking case. Leslie Duarte has been looking into it and brings us more information tonight. So, Leslie, what did you find today?
Jamie, Heidi, according to the probable cause statement, Harriman police says this all started with a missing.
See, when you lose 2 weeks, like I was out for 2 weeks here, I wasn't able to come on live for 2 weeks. It's just a buildup of stories, and like I have a whole list of stuff that I got to kind of clear out of my history here of cases that I've been kind of keeping in my history for a while. So, I mean, these cases here are not widely talked about, but I got to get rid of him. So this guy here, another piece of crap, literally. I mean, why? Luring a 60-year-old. It's just terrible.
Persons report. The document states the family of 6-year-old Kevin Van Bueg reported him missing, saying Van Bueg left Harriman early Saturday morning.
So information received from Kevin's family. Okay, he left his Harriman residence early in the morning of 12/27, so last week, to meet an unknown individual to purchase vehicle parts. A financial transaction through Venmo was shown as paid from Kevin's account to another Venmo user. See, that's what I don't like about Venmo, but at least you can track it. A search warrant was authored and approved for the user information from the Venmo. So they got this. A photo attached to Lopez's Utah driver's license was compared to the footage obtained from when the vehicle was parked and appeared to be a match. So they got him on that.
To buy car parts from someone. Police confirmed Van Bueg drove from Harriman to a business in Murray. Police say they found a car in Taylorsville with blood indicating a violent altercation. The PC statement says Van Bueg paid someone through Venmo earlier that day, which led officers to Jeffrey Mauricio Lopez.
So they got him. Lopez is being booked under the following criminal code violations: aggravated unaliving, aggravated kidnapping, aggravated robbery, and all of this desecration of a dead human body. I mean, this is terrible. Why? I wonder how much he got. Like, jeez.
Lopez. The document says Lopez.
You can't trust anything these days. Nothing at all. Guy's probably trying to save some money by getting, parts for his car. And he ends up running into this guy.
Lopez stated he met Van Bueg and they went together to several locations in Tooele, Salt Lake, and Wasatch County to use Van Bueg's card at different ATMs. According to police, security video and ATM receipts showed a male in a homemade mask alone in a car attempting ATM transactions, which many failed. The document also says Lopez left the victim in the bed of the truck for over a day until he located a secluded location to bury the victim in a shallow.
Unbelievable. Look at separate counties. He left him in the bed of the truck for over a day. Just the absolute lack of respect for a human life, just in a shallow grave.
Lopez was booked into the Salt Lake County Jail and is facing the following charges, or is booked for aggravated murder, aggravated kidnapping, aggravated robbery, and abuse or desecration of a dead human body.
I wonder, like I said, I wonder how much he actually ended up getting. It can't be more than $100 or so, do you think? What a sad, sick individual.
Reporting from Harriman, Leslie Duarte, KUTV 2 News.
Yeah. I don't know what to tell you, man. That's terrible. All right, so let's get out of that there. Who would do that? It's just all right, so I want to get into this case here. It's not technically a case, but it's something that I've been following here. These hikers on Mount Baldley. Is it? Hold on here. So this has been going on too here. They closed this whole mountain down, or at least the trail here. Bodies of 3 missing hikers have been recovered from Mount Baldy. All mountain trails. So this was done 15 hours ago. So they've closed all of the trails after 3 hikers were found unalived on Mount Baldy. And this has been all over my feed here for the last couple of days here too. I actually was on my flight tracker here because they had helicopters out there and everything. So here's this here. I believe this is in California. I'm not sure.
Mount Baldy, 3 hikers found dead all in the same area. And this morning, all the mountain trails are closed because it's just too dangerous. NBC4's Brittany Hope is following this case for us. And
Yeah, let's hope they have some. Looks like they got some pretty good evidence against that guy. What a piece of shit! I mean, who would do that? Like, why would you do that to somebody just to get? Some of these people, you know, they do such heinous crimes for like $20. It's so weird. Like it's and yet they're really dumb because they use guys' phone transactions and Venmo transactions. I mean, it's just sometimes it's good that they're not that clever, right? Sometimes it's good that they're just dumb because they get caught.
Brittany, really disturbing as to what happened to these hikers and how they were found.
Adrian, this all started on Monday morning when officials got a call from a
Beasley's here. Good to see Beasley. Happy New Year, Dave, and all. Yep, it's always good to see you here. I appreciate everybody for coming on here tonight. I decided to do a quick live because I've been off for a couple of weeks, so I figured I'd come on and do a quick New Year's Eve live. And I know you're probably busy doing other shit on New Year's Eve, so I really appreciate it. All right, here we go.
hiker who said he saw his friend fall 500 feet and needed help. When search and rescue teams got to him, that is when they found 2 others who were dead as well.
It is extremely unusual to have 3 persons die at the same time or found dead at the same time while they're out hiking, trying to enjoy nature. And I feel so sorry for the families who are affected.
The hiker who fell is a 19-year-old man, but at this point, authorities aren't saying where he was from or what his name is. Now, the 2 others, we're not sure who they are or when they died, if they fell. The San Bernardino County Sheriff's Office says they didn't have any reports of people who are missing on the mountain.
Hold on a second. Let me get situated with Mount Baldy here. So it is in California. So Mount Baldy or Mount Baldy Village is below Mount San Antonio, located below Mount San Antonio. Flows through the community. The San Antonio Creek flows through the community and is surrounded by the Angeles National. I'm pretty sure it's beautiful up there. Those are the coordinates right there. I'll use that in a second. Time zone, area code. This is it. Elevation. It's only 4,000 feet, so it's not very tall. But if you fall 500 feet, you're probably going to get dead. Let's go there. Here. Let's do. I love when they do this. Oh, let's do. No, I don't want to do that. Let's do satellite. Okay, so there it is there. Where am I? Right here. So there's Mount Baldy there. It's considering it's in California, it's pretty shallow. I mean, this is not very tall at all, 4,000 feet. But there it is. Let's see here. That's it. Yeah, it's not very tall at all, but there's that's where it is. All right, so let's go back to all right, here we go.
All 3 of them, though, were found in an area called Devil's Backbone, which is an extremely dangerous area. Deputies say it's not carved out in a way where a typical hiker could do it and be safe.
It is kind of scary. I didn't know that people were actually lost up here right now.
If it's a snow hike like today, we usually bring like crampons, so we have that. And then we also have the All Trails app, which is great for, you can download an offline map, so you won't lose. You'll know your way on the trail.
Just this past weekend, the sheriff's office says 5 people had to be rescued off the mountain as the rain, snow, and mud continue into the new year. They just don't want anyone else on the trails. Adrian, Camilla.
Yeah, I'm sure that's here's this here.
An update tonight to a tragedy on Mount Baldy. The 19-year-old who died after falling hundreds of feet during a hike has been identified as a Seal Beach native, Marcus Casanova. CBS LA's Michelle Geely spoke with people who knew him as they are now coping with the heartbreaking news.
The family of Seal Beach's Marcus Bunch Casanova identified the 19-year-old college student as one of 3 hikers who died on Mount Baldy. Casanova's body was recovered by rescuers Tuesday, a day after his friend and hiking partner made an emergency call after the teenager fell 500 feet near an icy ridge called Devil's Backbone. His mother told the Orange County Register that her son, an avid outdoorsman, was studying business at Santa Clara University and was an incredibly sweet and empathetic young man that will be missed sorely by many. His neighbor just got the news.
If he got in trouble, it wasn't because he was unprepared. Something else happened. I just feel he's just too smart for that. So yeah, right now I'm still trying to process it.
San Bernardino County Sheriff's deputies are working to confirm the identities of the other deceased hikers who were not with Casanova. The young man worked as an instructor part-time in Long Beach at the Leeway Sailing Center. The city put out a statement praising Casanova for having a rare gift of connecting with everyone he met. He was always bright and approached every task with warmth and enthusiasm. Marcus always went above and beyond in his responsibilities, leaving a lasting impression with all who knew him.
Yeah, it's brutal because it is one family on this dock. We all are doing the same thing. We're offering experiences for people in the boats. They're offering experiences of teaching these kids. Most of the facilities here are closed right now for holidays, and so where they're getting, how they're finding out, it seems to be spreading pretty quickly.
These close-knit neighbors plan to rally around the Munch Casanova family, just as they did for another family on this same Seal Beach street after their loved one died just about a year.
Yeah, they must be having some sort of a weather incident out there. I forget what they call it. I'll have to check into that. But they've closed off the trail. They've closed that entire mountain off. So they must be getting something.
Year ago in a diving accident. In Seal Beach, Michelle Geely, CBS LA.
All right, so that's so strange how I keep coming up here. That's weird. Gonna play one more of those, I think. Hold on one second here. Maybe not. Let's go to this here because I've been following this too. That is sad, though. It's just very sad. All right, so let's go back to Houston here because I've been following this now for the past few years here. This one here and the stuff around Lady Bird Lake over there in Dallas. So there's this freaking out of people here that there's some sort of an SKR going on in the bayou here in Houston, but the police keep saying that there's nothing to see here. But like I said, I've been following this here, and this is how I ran into the missing kids over there in San Antonio. But bodies in the bayou, families left with questions after 2 more bodies have been found in the Houston bayous. This was done while I was away. This was done a couple weeks ago, 8 days ago. And we've been following this here for the past year here, but they're saying, like I said, there's nothing to see here. There's no SKR. There's nothing. It's just bodies piling up.
Area bayous this week brought the total of bodies found in our bayou system this year to a total of 33. While investigators work to determine what happened.
33. Let's play that back again. 33.
To a total of 33. While investigators work to determine what happened. This week brought the total of bodies found in our bayou system this year to a total of 33.
33 in 1 year.
While investigators work to determine what happened to those individuals, many families are left with something far more painful. They have unanswered questions. Our Joy Addison has a closer look at why some deaths are ruled undetermined and how that uncertainty impacts families.
Well, for investigators, an undetermined cause of death typically means they just don't have enough information to figure out what happened. But for a family, this can mean a heartbreaking reality of living with no answers. I talked directly with a criminologist who tells me why bayou deaths in particular are so difficult to explain and why so many are listed as undetermined or accidental.
Alexis Curry's brother, Anthony's body was found in a Houston area bayou in May. Anthony's death was ruled accidental, and the Curry family has little information on what could have happened to piece together his last moments alive.
It's heartbreaking. Like like to not know for real, it just has your mind running. Like some people just sit and think about it all day.
For families like this one and those with undetermined causes of death, the pain isn't just the loss. It's not knowing, questions about what happened, and whether those answers will ever come. Of the deaths investigated as of December 12th, 18 causes of death are listed as undetermined and 9 appear as accidents. But Dr. Elizabeth Gilmore, a criminologist who studies causes of death, says this often reflects just how much evidence is lost before a body is ever found.
What that means is that the pathologist has done as thorough as an examination as they possibly.
This is just really bizarre. This case here, these cases here, and the stuff that's been going on up there in Lady Bird Lake. But there's a bunch of people that just I mean, you can account for a certain amount of bodies piling up, but I mean, this is a lot. So the fact that there's that much is telling me that some of these are just not connected to anything. But you never know, man.
Can. And what they have decided is that they cannot attribute what the manner of death would be. So there's just not enough information for the doctor to say this is what happened.
Experts say Houston's heat plays a major role speeding up decomposition. As temperatures rise, gases build up in the body, sometimes causing remains to surface long after death, making it difficult to pinpoint when or how someone died. Heat, water, and time can erase critical evidence.
A lot of the soft tissue has been compromised, whether it be from decomposition or heat or different things.
And that criminologist says the best way that these grieving families can help investigators come to a determination is to give as much.
Stay here. I just hope the police sit down with them and show them the investigation so they don't have to do an investigation and try to grieve. Yeah, I agree with you with that for sure. But they're not going to do that. I mean, this would be the humane thing to do, right? Sit down with the families and show the investigation, right? Give them all the information. But they're not going to do that. I don't know. It's really hard. Like I've been trying to get the average on the Lady Bird Lake unalivings, and I haven't been able to get that. So I'm assuming it's going to be even harder to get it down here in Houston. But I would say, in a city, I grew up kind of like in Boston too. So there's I don't know, a city that has like 100,000 people or more, 200,000 people. It's probably like I would say like 1%, 0.5% you can account for just. I mean, people do weird things, especially around bridges and shit like that. It's usually where all the bars are. It's usually where all the just that some of the areas are poorly lit. People fall into water and stuff like that. So there's going to be, but I haven't been able to get anything like statistically solid in any of those areas, especially Houston. Where Lady Bird Lake is kind of like, it's more like a river than it is a lake, but I'm getting there. One of these days I'll have numbers.
Much information as possible. So police ask that if you're out there and you know anything about these deaths, that you reach out with information as soon as possible. Reporting from Keegan's Bayou, Joy Addison.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of parents that probably don't want to hear all of the information, but I I agree with Barbara that there should be some sort of transparency with that stuff there. All right, so let's play. I had another one that I wanted to play here with this. So let's go back to this one here, and then I'll get more. But I've been following this here for a while, for more than a year or so. There's not a. Is this the one here?
3 bodies were found in Houston's bayous last week, and the discoveries have reignited talks of a serial killer in Houston. Many of you have seen.
Yeah, this was done. Yeah, so I think this is the latest one here.
In the videos on social media, and comments on our social media and website have been flooded with theories. But Harris County District Attorney Jean Tier says the claims are baseless. Gage Golding has the interview you'll see only on 2 tonight.
There is nothing to indicate that anyone is operating as a serial killer.
That's something that a lot of people in Houston.
No, I 100% agree with you, Barbara. They I do want to say that, 9 times out of 10, if there's a case, and you hear about this a lot, right? Because I do a lot of listening to all of these cold case files from years ago, and especially back in the 70s and 80s, some of the really good police investigations kept a lot of evidence in storage lockers. And it's a good thing they did that, because, with new technology and new ways of catching criminals, it came back to bite the criminals, because the technology just got better and better. But if they'd have just chucked all of that evidence, what I'm trying to say is they're not going to tell families a lot. Law enforcement, they're just not going to do it. Just in case, especially good investigatory stuff, they're just not going to tell families a lot of shit. But if it's a closed case, if they're definite in saying that this is not what you think it is just an accidental unaliving or whatever, then that they should come out and tell people that. But sometimes things can change, investigations can change. You get new prosecutors, you get new investigators, and they'll look at stuff, and then they'll reopen or reclassify a case. You never know. So I don't know. They're never going to tell family a lot. That's just my opinion. That's been doing this for a long time, and family unfortunately gets treated like dog shit. That's just the way it is. And it's not right. But sometimes they do that for a reason.
Are starting to question it. Just last week, 3 more people were found dead in the city's bayous. That's 34 this year alone. So the question is, does Houston have a serial killer? Here's Harris County District Attorney Jean Tier.
There is not a serial killer that is routinely dumping bodies in the bayou. No. And let's be honest, our culture is really in.
Yeah, I'm definitely not making excuses for them, because sometimes they just don't get it. I mean, they have no what they call bedside manner, or just, all we want them to do is act like human beings at a specific time too. Wouldn't hurt. But we feel for you, Barbara, for sure here.
Into true crime and things like that. And when you say the word serial killer, people get excited.
And he's not wrong. A simple scroll on social media and you'll find comment after comment.
Yeah, I'm not doing this for clicks and views. I don't do this shit for that. I mean, I'd rather actually not be here, to be honest with you. I mean, I wish there was a point where, these things didn't happen, like, the unaliving of Camila Almost, right? Like, you just don't want to cover these things. This is just so personal to the families. I mean, I can guarantee you that family right now is just going through absolutely freaking hell. And the last thing they need to do is to hear some of these people come on and do these conspiracy things and stuff like that. So it doesn't, I mean, it's not good. But with that said, you need a little bit of pressure on these people to do the right thing too. So I do think that the social media angle has a huge impact on how these people react to things. And I don't think it should stop, because any any type of exposure, any type of pressure you can put on these law enforcement agencies to do the right freaking thing, right, the better. So I'll take the bad with the good. But I follow these things not necessarily to come on here and say, "Ooh, there's an SKer over there in Houston. Let's get as many clicks and views as we can." No, I'm just trying to invest. I'm just trying to, see what's going on. More than likely, it's probably not, because statistics will tell you that SKers are very, very rare. But you never know. You just never know.
Comment. And you don't have to walk far here along the bayou to find somebody talking about it.
I believe that there's some serial killers in Houston, yes. With 2 million people here, everybody's not sane.
Do you think it's a sexier plot line for TikTok?
That's a good question. I mean, I think it's probably a little bit of both.
Perspective is important for the story. For instance,
yeah, I think sometimes when they close the case, that doesn't necessarily, I think, mean the case is closed. Because I've seen cases where they've closed the case, and 10 years later or 5 years later, or they get a new prosecutor, or they get a new detective, or they get a new whatever, a new tip, a new whatever, that case will become open again. Not saying that's going to happen there. I'm just saying that just because the case is closed doesn't necessarily mean it's closed.
Last year, there were 35 bodies found in bayous. That's one more than this year. And most of the bodies, the district attorney says, are found near homeless.
Because there may be a couple of detectives that, didn't agree with the fact that it was a case that was closed. But, just like everything else, you have superiors and stuff like that say close the case. But, I've seen cases where, 5 years go by and all of a sudden there's a new prosecutor and a new regime that wants to take a deeper look because they get a specific tip or something, they review something or whatever, and all of a sudden now the case is highly active again and it's open. I've seen those things happen before. So there's always hope.
Encampments, which opens up a whole different problem.
I think that if we were more intentional and better at helping our unhoused population find places to live and supporting them, we would likely see a drop in the numbers.
And there's not to say there aren't other ways people have died in bayous. For example, there are cases where people have fallen in the water and haven't been able to get out. And yes, there are instances where crime is involved, where people are killed and then somehow put in the bayous.
There is nothing, and I want to be crystal clear, to indicate that there is someone operating here as a serial killer.
There is an autopsy done on every single body that is pulled from a bayou. Sometimes that can come back as undetermined. That doesn't mean the investigation is over. That can take years in some cases. I did ask the mayor and the chief of Houston Police for comment on this story. Only the mayor got back to me saying that the police department does routinely patrol the more than 2,500 miles of bayous they have here in the city. In downtown Houston, Gage Golding, KPR.
It's just like around here. I follow a lot of the cases around here too in New England, and especially the Connecticut River Valley cases. The Maine South Woodsman guy, the New Bedford Highway unalivings, all of them, including the list cases, and they want to lump all of these cases in with SKers, but there's no official word that they are. I mean, it's just an assumption at this point. But the law enforcement has never come out and said, okay, look, this is done by an SKer. So it's really hard to get any information, especially if you're a victim or a person who has been affected by these things. And it's got to be absolutely aggravating to the families, because there's just no answers. I mean, look at Mara Murray. She's been missing since 2005, right? I mean, it's got to be absolutely hell for the families, because they're not giving them any information. You know, some families sue to get the information. That's happened in the Jennifer Kessie case. They've sued law enforcement down in Florida to get the case files, and they finally were able to succeed doing that because they took them to court and they finally got the information. But that didn't do anything either, you know. So it's tough. It's got to be tough. That's why I feel bad for the victims' families. It's just got to be hell, literally. And honestly, that's the only reason why I'm freaking here.
CT News.
Oh, all right. So that's the end of that. That was done 2 months ago. So we'll play this here. We'll go back to this bitch. I can't stand her. Yeah. Charles just woke up. Charles is the guy you want to ask about when it comes to SKers. All right, so let's go here to this bitch. I can't stand her, but she's come up again. This is a video from camera footage from police body camera footage of Lori Vallow Daybell being pulled over in Hawaii. The Kauai Police Department has released body cam footage of Lori Daybell. These two people here should not be breathing, in my opinion. January 2020, so they're pulled over in Hawaii, both of them, in 2020. And these people just need to go away. That's just my opinion. So here's bitch one and bitch two, in my opinion. I hope so, Barb, for you. There's not going to be a lot of sound until they actually pull her over.
Advise them that we have a search warrant, and don't let them use any communications. 10-4. 314-307. That's Chad. Go ahead.
You got a little bit more urgency to this shit, dude. You got a guy over by himself.
You're on 4 Bravo. Somebody gives them a copy of
Where is he?
Guys, exit the vehicle, please. Step up. We have a search warrant for you guys. Your card, belongings. Can you bring your I'll go with that. You call that.
Have a good night, Mustang. I'm going to get out of here soon, too. I got a couple more things I got to do, but I hope you have a great day. And have had a great New Year's Eve. Always good to see Mustang in here. Thank you, Mustang. Thank you for sharing all my stuff that I post. Appreciate that. Don't forget, they're in Hawaii. These people are in Hawaii. She's being pulled over in Hawaii. What is she holding? This must be some sort of a thing she's written up for herself to say to the police when she gets talked to. There's that piece of shit right there, right behind this pile on here. I literally hate these people. I can't stand it. The amount of lives and just overall way of life, and they've ruined so many people's lives, these people here.
Inside. Should we take her?
Just having her see. You guys cards on and everything.
Yeah. Go ahead, open up the side window area.
What kind of vehicle is it? It's like a black maybe late 80s, early 90s.
Can you feel that? Somebody's videoing us. Somebody's videoing us.
Yeah. That's
cop car?
we got. I'm not cautious because there's people like reporters, whatever. Anybody else?
It always surprised me how many cop cars and how many cops they need to subdue and arrest and put in a vehicle 2 people, right? There's got to be one, 2. There's probably like 50 cops here.
You recording?
All right, so there you go. That was that wonderful arrest there in Hawaii. I think that was in 2020. Yep. All right, so let's get out of that there. I just wanted to show that because that was in my feed too. I can kind of put that one in the past. I do want to play this too. I don't know. Did I play this Sunday or not? I don't know. Let's get out of this here. All right, this is from Kentucky. Man arrested after missing 13-year-old from Kentucky found safe in Maryland. We might have played this one Sunday morning. I'm sorry, but we'll do it again. Montgomery County Police Department said the girl from Rockcastle County, Kentucky, was found on December 26th inside a home in the 12,000 block of Dalewood Drive in Silver Spring. So they found her after she went missing, and they found her in this guy's house.
On a scary situation unfolding in Montgomery County in Silver Spring. Police say this missing girl from Kentucky was found here in the DMV. Detectives tell us a suspect.
This was done 3 days ago. Sorry.
Suspect is in custody, but more questions loom about how that young girl wound up here in our area. Our Liana Golden pushing for answers tonight and tells us what comes next.
This is just a strange story from start to finish. Right now, Christian Alexander Delgado, 37 years old, is being held here at Montgomery County Central Processing Unit. He's currently awaiting extradition to Kentucky, where authorities there secured an arrest warrant to charge him with kidnapping. Now, we went to Delgado's home in Silver Spring. The lights were off, the gate was locked. This is where 13-year-old Winter Wagner was found on Friday. Montgomery County police officers and the U.S. Marshal Service received a tip that she may be inside, and sure enough, she was. Neighbors were not interested in going on camera, though did say they've seen Delgado around before and didn't really notice anything out of the ordinary. Now, what's interesting is that Wagner was found more than 5.
Yeah, she was pretty much done. Him too.
100 miles from home. She's from Rockcastle County, Kentucky. You can see it here on this map, just how far that is. And it's unclear how she got here to Maryland or how long she was in Silver Spring with Delgado. The Rockcastle County Sheriff's Office updated this post from November 19th, saying she was found. She had been missing since October 14th. That is when her foster parents had dropped her off at school, and she never returned home. Again, some relief this weekend. She has been located safely. Authorities took her to a nearby hospital to get her checked out. A lot of questions to answer about these past
He was literally kidnapped.
2 months. Delgado will be in court Monday afternoon at 1 p.m. Reporting in Montgomery County, I'm Liana Golden, 7 News.
Liana, thank you. We know you'll stay on top of that one. New tonight.
I'll keep following that too, because that's I was going to cover that earlier too. All right, so let's are you going live Sunday? Well, yes, I am. I'm just doing this, like I said, I've been off a couple weeks, so I've got a whole bunch of shit that I've got piled up in my history that I wanted to clear. Plus, I felt like I've kind of stiffed you guys the last couple of weeks without doing a live, so I wanted to come on here and kind of kill two birds with one stone, to be honest with you. All right, so let's do this here because we did this a little bit too on Sunday night. Thank you, Paula. And we covered this a little bit too. I know this isn't kind of true crime, but it kind of is. But I've been following this ever since this plane kind of disappeared. So New Search, we did this a little bit on last live, but there's a new one here, so I want to play this one here. New search for the Malaysian Airlines Flight 370 underway. Texas firm, we know this, trying to find this Boeing 777 that disappeared March 2014. I can't believe it's been that long ago. And I remember this well because I was up watching this.
Revised data.
Oops, let me rewind this.
Airlines Flight 370 is underway nearly a dozen years after the Boeing 777, with 239 people on board, vanished from radar after takeoff in Kuala Lumpur. The Texas-based firm.
We love you, Barbara. You're an amazing person. Just hang in there. Hopefully we can get some answers for you at some point here. It's always good to see you. I hope Southern Gal is good. I haven't seen Southern Gal in a while, but she's I haven't been on anybody's live in the last couple of weeks. I've been dealing with other shit. But I'm hoping to get back in the saddle here soon. But we do love to see Barbara here. I hope Southern Gal's doing well. Awesome people.
Ocean Infinity is now making its third attempt to find the long-lost plane. Joining us now, CNN aviation safety analyst David Susi. He wrote a book about MH370 back in 2015. David, what?
I always said in this case, I wonder if the pings are off. I don't know how accurate those pings were back then. So they may be looking in the wrong place.
What do you think the chances are that this latest search that has now just begun turns up something critically important, something new?
Because that's when this started happening. This is when we kind of first started learning about pings and handshakes, is when this plane went down.
I'll tell you, Wolf, I've been really apprehensive about these continued searches until now. I think now we've got three things going for us. One is the revised data analysis of the area, and that's being used with AI. We didn't have AI before to try to find these areas. So a lot of data got it sorted out. The other thing is they're using a new swarm technology for the underwater vehicles that are being used. Instead of just one device out there looking, we've got multiple devices in multiple control ships out there. And then third, there's been some great things about how we look at the current flows in the ocean. And we have some parts that came up on Le Réunion Island, if you remember, and Madagascar, that they've remapped back using this new technology. I'm very confident that they're going to find something on this search.
And let's hope. After all these years, David, what new information do you think can be gained if they do find wreckage?
Well, what I'm hopeful is that the voice recorders and the data recorders, if they find...
I think they've found some parts. I know they found part of the left rudder. Was it the left rudder or something like that? But I don't know if they definitively have found anything from that. I may be wrong, but I may be right too. But let's take a little bit of a jog here to the Indian Ocean. I mean, this is massive, right? So here's Indonesia here, kind of went this way and then down this way. But this is it could be anywhere in here. I mean, and they know it would have ran out of gas probably right in this area here. So, I mean, it can only fly so far. But I don't know how accurate these pings are here when they called it a handshake back then. It's tough. There's a lot of water there. There's a lot of I mean, they may never find it. I mean, that's how deep that is. All right, so let's go back to this here. I mean, the ocean, how long did it take to find the How long did I find them to take, find the ship I'm thinking about now? Shit, now I'm drawing a mind blank. Took them almost a half a century to find the Titanic.
And the main body of this aircraft, those should still be intact.
Longer than a century, I think. When did they find the Titanic? So it's just a little under a century it took them to find that thing.
On the ocean floor. They may be difficult to find, but if they do find that main body of the aircraft, they should then be able to find the flight data recorder and the voice recorders, which are made to last this long. They could go 10, 15 years with the way that the EEPROM chips hold the data. It could be very well intact, and hopefully they would find that and get some answers.
How has technology, David, improved over the past 10 years or so that could improve the search? And I'm not just talking about AI.
Mostly it's about the swarms of underwater vehicles. So if you recall before, they would go out with a huge ship and they would put one device in and they would search a very narrow path, and they'd have to go back and forth to try to get this scan of the ocean floor. The new technology now allows for multiple units underwater to be tracked by a single robotic boat. There's not even anybody on board this boat that controls these swarms. So they can be out there looking in multiple areas all at one time. In addition, the resolution on these devices is thousands times better than it was before. So before you would look at it and say, is this a rock? Is it a boat? Is it a crashed airplane? We didn't know the difference. Now, these devices have very high resolution of what they're looking at on that ocean floor. I think that's the things that will be most critically different in this search.
Does the location of the current search give you any new clues about what they think might have happened? Why this plane, this 777, this Boeing 777 vanished?
No, they really didn't get many clues from the current search. The current search, if you're talking about the ocean currents, maybe I misunderstood your question, but the ocean currents gave us more information about where it might be located. However, the parts that have been located gave us some information. The leading edge of some of the flight control things that were found, the flaperon was found, and you can tell from that it came off in flight. It didn't come off once the aircraft hit the ground. It came off in flight, which tells us that the aircraft made it.
Yeah, I forget now how long it was. I guess I could Google that. How long? "73 years." So just almost 3/4 of a century.
Rapid descent, and it came apart somewhat in flight. At least the flight controls did. So that gives us some clue as to how.
And I think it was an accident that they found that, because I think they were looking for something else.
How quickly the aircraft descended from its last known handshake that we know about.
So what's your bottom line assessment right now, David? Do you think they're going to find something?
I think the handshake is what they're going by, right? Let me see if I can pull that up. Hold on a second. M777 MH timeline. Let's do that timeline. All right, so let's go here. Hold on a second. I know this isn't true crime, but this has always been kind of interesting to me here. Hold on a second. Let's go to here. Okay, so this is Wikipedia's timeline here. This is 152 Captain Zahiri and Shah sign in for duty. 128 First Officer Farigha Hamid signs in for duty. I want to go to the So this is the time. So this is the timeline of events here, seconds. So the captain informs ATC the flight has reached flight level. This is all normal stuff here. The final data transmission from flight 370 is made. The satellite communication link is lost sometime during this period. So this is within this time frame here is when things start to go from bad to worse here in a hurry. And this is at 1:07:48 to 2:03:41. That's the time frame. So it's an hour and 22 minutes, so somewhere around there. The captain confirms the flight 37 is flying at flight level 3. Is flying at flight level 350. The position symbol of flight 370 appears from KL-ACC radar, indicating the aircraft's transponder is no longer functioning. So this is when the transponders basically either shut off or not functioning. And Malaysian military radar continues to track the aircraft, which almost immediately begins to turn to the left until it is traveling on a. So basically, it takes a sharp left and then travels south. Voice contact is attempted by another aircraft at the request of HCC. Mumbling and radio static are heard in reply. So where is the pings? Anyways, let's go back to this here. Hold on a second here. I'll have to
Thing that's going to explain what happened.
I'll have to.
I'll tell you,
what I'll do is I'll try to get this timeline a little bit better than that.
I'm very confident that they will. This search area, if you recall before, it was about the size of Florida. Now it's about the size of Connecticut. I mean, it's really reduced, and that's not meaning that it's a less effective search. It means that it's more concise search. So yes, I feel very confident. I've got a very high confidence that we're going to find something on this search.
Let's hope. All right, David Susi, as usual. Thanks so much for joining us.
So they've signed an agreement with the Malaysian government that they won't get paid if they don't find anything. But there's an incentive to find something because it's a lot of money if they do find it. So.
Thank you.
Happening now, a new search for a missing MH370 is now underway. More than a decade after the Boeing 777 jumbo jet vanished from radar shortly after takeoff in Kuala Lumpur, the Texas-based marine robotics firm Ocean Infinity is now resuming its efforts to locate the plane. This will be the group's third attempt at searching for wreckage from MH370. Joining us now is oceanographer David Gallo. He's also the former director of the special projects at the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution. David, thanks so much for joining us. You're someone who has personally taken part in these kinds of expeditions over the years that look for wreckage on the sea floor. How does a search, first of all, like this typically begin?
Well, it begins by knowing, well, you want to know as much as you can about what happened, meaning where on the ocean does X mark the spot? Because the ocean's very difficult. We've explored very little of it. It's not easy to find something there. And I always think that you need the right team, you need the right instruments, and then you need the right technique. So it's like an orchestra: musicians, instruments, and then the music. And then with that, you've got a pretty good chance of finding a needle in a haystack. But the trick here is to find out, are you in the right haystack? Is this the right haystack to be looking in? So that's how it begins, by putting that team together, picking the right instruments, and it's a whole lot easier if you know.
That was freaking funny. You got to be in the right haystack.
Stack. But the trick here is to find out, are you in the right haystack? Is this the right?
That's freaking classic. That's funny. It would be in the right haystack. It's a fact, bro.
Haystack to be looking in. So that's how it begins, by putting that team together, picking the right instruments, And it's a whole lot easier if you know where to begin looking.
How does a group like Ocean?
It's snowing right now, actually. I think it's going to be a cold winter. I can guarantee you that much right now. It's been cold here.
Infinity narrowed down its search area. What is that process like?
Since the accident happened, the tragedy, there have been.
So they signed a no find, no fee contract with the Malaysian government. So if they don't find anything, they don't get paid.
Different groups working with some satellite information, trying to pinpoint an area where the plane might be, the wreckage might be. And I'm sure they've looked at all of that, gone over it and over it. And they haven't disclosed any more information, anything about what new information they have.
Yeah, this happened over a decade ago, 2014. I think right around this time of the year, actually. Just disappeared. That's when we started to learn about pings and handshakes, and because they got a ping, I forget where. That's why they're in this area here, because they figure, I mean, with the amount of they've kind of calculated the last handshake, the last ping, and then the amount of fuel that they had. So that's why they're kind of down in the South Indian Ocean here. But like this guy's saying, they may be in the wrong haystack. They have no idea where this thing is.
But I'm sure they've looked over very carefully, and they're confident enough to put a team out to sea for a month or so.
I mean, the Australian government was over there for months and months and months after this thing went down, and they didn't find anything. So who knows?
To look in that area.
What are some of the biggest challenges when searching for wreckage deep underwater on the ocean floor?
It's so cold here. It's got to be like December. December's probably going to go down as one of the coldest Decembers here ever in New England. It's been cold, and it doesn't look like it's going to get warm anytime soon. And it's like cold here all the time, so it's hard to imagine what a record cold would be. But it's been normal temperature right in this time of the year is about 32, maybe 33 degrees. It's been down 10 degrees all month, so it's been bad. And it's been windy, so it's not just cold. It'll knock your socks off, literally.
Well, it's the depth, of course, is a big problem. The ocean floor goes down to 7 miles deep. Average depth's about 2.5 miles. That's one. To the bottom of the ocean can be flat, but most of it, a third of it anyway, is incredibly mountainous, more steep and rugged than the Rockies or the Himalayas. And that's the biggest issue. Then on the surface, of course, you've got the weather issues to deal with, currents to deal with. So being out there's one thing in the currents and all of that, and then lowering an instrument or instruments to the bottom of the ocean and putting them to work, that's a whole nother challenge.
Since the last time they made a search like this, searching for this missing Boeing 777, artificial intelligence has come into play. Potentially, how significant could that be in helping to find the wreckage?
Okay, so this is the search for the MH370. Ocean Infinity previously searched for the plane. So they've already been out here in 2018. Unclear if company has new evidence or data, and they'll be paid quite a bit if they find something. But if they don't find anything, they're not going to get a dime. That's what we're being told. So that's, yeah.
I think very, very significant, Wolf. This company, for starters, Ocean Infinity, came out of nowhere and gangbusters. And now I would say pretty much they're leading in the technology and expertise to do these kinds of surveys. You can use AI a lot of different ways at sea, but the one I think maybe most importantly is looking at every little bit of data that comes back from the bottom. Best way to look is with sound. So you're not looking at a picture, you're looking at pixels of different colors usually. And I think AI has the power to really look at any of those and identify which ones are suspicious. Otherwise, it's often in the hands of the talent of a person that does that kind of work, the sonar operator.
So give us your guess. David, how likely is it that what everyone knows right now in this major search that's about to resume will actually find something significant?
I'm hoping they do, praying they do, Wolf, but it's going to be difficult. I don't know that.
Yeah, I hope they find something too. I mean, how many were American? There were a few Americans on board too. So, I hope that they can get some sort of answer for some of the people who, I mean, this has been a long time. It's been over, over a decade. So, yeah.
There's enough information. Well, they feel that they've got enough new information to go to see. I don't see where that comes from because it's been such a long time. But I hope you can't get a better team to go out there and look for it, and you just got to hope for the best.
I mean, if they can find the Titanic, they can find anything. I mean, the Titanic was pretty much, and they knew where the Titanic went down. It's not like they didn't know where it went down. They knew kind of in the area where it was, and that was way back, before they had any type of sonar or whatever. So, if they can find that thing, they can find anything, in my opinion. But let's hope it doesn't take a century to do. All right, so I got one more to share here, and then I'm going to get out of here. And you'll probably be hearing about this case here pretty soon. So let's go here. I don't mind the cold as much as I did years ago anymore. It's the wind. The wind is a bitch, especially if it's raining or snowing, or it just goes right through you. All right, so this you'll probably be hearing about this case. James Marsh, 64, was arrested after a 4-hour standoff with local police and state troopers Friday evening. In the Worcester County District Attorney's Office said masked man being held without bail after wife found unalived in the house. So here we go. And I'll be following this here too.
And did plead not guilty to those charges. He lived in this yellow house here on Union Street, which is where that 4.5-hour long standoff happened.
Very saddened, shocked, heartbroken.
That's how the news of 62-year-old Ann Marsh's death hit Steve Garapete.
She was just a happy person, always bubbly.
The two.
So that's pronounced Lemonster, for those who are following at home.
Worked together for about 30 years. Officials say she was shot and
That's Lemonster, right there.
killed Friday by her husband, 64-year-old James Marsh.
The plea of not guilty will be entered on your behalf.
Police say they received a 911 call from the Union Street address. The caller hung up and did not answer the dispatcher's multiple attempts to be reconnected. Police sent an officer to the home, and when the officer arrived, they say they heard what sounded like someone in medical distress. They say the officer entered the home through an unlocked side door, saw Ann Marsh's husband, James, sitting on a couch next to someone covered by a blanket.
The police responded.
It's Leslie and Billy. Good to see you. Happy New Year to you too. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're either happily inebriated or not happily inebriated. Hope you're well.
To the home, pointed a firearm at the responding police officer.
That started a 4.5-hour standoff between Marsh and the police. He eventually surrendered, and police found Ann Marsh with obvious signs of trauma to her face and head.
Sir, you're being charged with assault with a dangerous weapon and assault and battery with a dangerous weapon causing serious bodily injury.
Garapete says he never saw any issues between the married couple.
We did get together with them occasionally. There was never anything that I can recall that she ever said that was bad about him, which makes this so shocking.
Marsh is
This was a standoff, hours-long standoff. He wouldn't come out.
being held without bail, and he will reappear in court on Friday for a dangerousness hearing. We're live in Lemonster. Danae Bucci, WCVB News Center 5.
All right, so that's that. Let me see if I can find something else since Leslie just came in. This was so that was 2 days ago. This is the arraignment of this guy here.
Rondella, that's according to the police report here. They say when officers responded to this home, James Marsh was sitting on the couch next to his wife's body under a blanket, and then the James Marsh allegedly pulled and aimed a gun at those officers. 64-year-old James Marsh was arraigned today on charges of assault and battery with a dangerous weapon and assault and battery with a dangerous.
Oh, I didn't know he was pointing a gun at the cops. That's not smart.
Weapon causing serious bodily injury. Now, according to a Leominster police report, this all started Friday night with a 911 call, with the caller simply saying the address 209 Union Street and then hanging.
Thank you for asking, Leslie. I appreciate that. How's your daughter? I hope better. I still have fluid in lungs, but I wanted to say hi. You still have fluid in your lungs too? That's terrible. My daughter's doing much better. She's got a follow-up appointment on Friday, I think. They both do, actually. But she seems to be doing quite good. Why do you still have lung fluid in your lungs? Do you have pneumonia too? And how long have you had that? Well, good to see you. Sorry to hear that.
Up. When officers went to investigate, they found an open door to the home, with one of the officers saying they then heard a moaning sound believed to be from someone who was injured, and then found James Marsh on his couch with a gun sitting next to the body under a blanket.
On December 26th, during an altercation with his wife at home, he shot and killed his wife, and then when the police responded to the home, pointed the firearm after responding to police officers.
A month? You've had fluid in your... Oh, that's terrible. That's awful. Do they have you on an antibiotic? Are you on... That's terrible.
Now, after that, the officer ran out of the home in a more than 4-hour standoff then occurred. James Marsh.
I'll tell you, I got a few years ago now, it's been a while. I got that, I think it's called a pneumococcal shot, pneumonia shot. And that was probably one of the smartest things I ever done in my life. So you should probably get that.
Eventually was taken into custody, and his wife, 62-year-old Ann Marsh, was found dead under the blanket. Not guilty pleas were entered on James Marsh's behalf.
You think this guy just flipped out? You think he just, I don't know. This is weird.
It's also noteworthy that he's not being charged with murder at this time. He is being held without bail.
Miranda, we love you. Thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate that. Happy New Year to you too. I hope you're well. I haven't seen Heather. Ryan Larson case, yes. Yes, I have looked into the Ryan Larson case. I do want to get back into that. That's the one where his umbrella was found. Is that the one? Yep. Well, always good to see you here, Miranda. You're awesome. Amazing person. I hope you're okay. Hope you're well. Have a great rest of the week. I'll see you, or I'll see you guys. I'll probably be doing another live Sunday morning.
Pending a dangerousness hearing on Friday. Family members were here at the courthouse today.
I may do a number, second episode on the Ryan Larson case, because there's a lot on that there. Good night, Miranda. Be safe.
But they did not comment. Reporting live in Leominster, Matt Reed, WCVB News Center 5.
I'll play one more of this here, and then we'll get out of here. Like I said, I just wanted to come on and did we do the Black Dahlia thing Sunday night? I think we did.
This is also breaking tonight. A man has been arrested in connection to the death of a woman in Leominster. According to the Worcester County DA's office, a man was taken into custody after an hours-long standoff with police at a home on Union Street. First responders found a woman inside. She was pronounced dead at the scene. The man is set to be arraigned tomorrow. At this point, the suspect and the victim's names have not been.
That it? Okay, that's it. That was that. All right, so I'm gonna get the hell out of here. Okay, so we did that already. Okay, so I'm gonna get out of here. Just wanted to come on. Like I said, I know I've been off a couple weeks from doing my lives, so I just wanted to kind of get on here and kind of go through some of the stuff that I had sitting in my history as far as the true crime stuff. But also I wanted to come on and give you guys an extra live of the week. I may start doing more lives. I can't definitely nail myself down to that yet, but I do want to come on and start doing more lives at some point. But I just want to say you guys are all awesome. I really appreciate everybody standing by me the last couple of weeks when I was out with my daughter there. You guys are all great. It's always good to see all of you. Fuck you, you're awesome. Thank you so much. Plus, it's a new year, 2026. So hopefully things go a little bit better this year than they did last year. Leslie and Billy, thank you so much. I'm going to try to do episode 2 of Ryan Larson, but the next couple of weeks, I'm going to try to get back into some of the cases that we haven't covered for a while. I do want to get to Evansdale to see what's going on over in Evansdale in that case. But we'll see what happens. Miranda Lee, thank you so much for being in here. Miranda Lee is awesome, amazing person. Always good to see Miranda Lee in here. I haven't seen Heather for a while. I hope Heather's well. Paula Fitzhenry is amazing. Thank you, Paula, for sharing all my stuff. And Paula's got a great channel over there. Always good to see Paula here. Barbara Hall, amazing, tremendous person. She's great too. She's got a channel too. I think I forget now the channel name. I can't believe that. Hold on a second. Let's do this here. Timmy D's. Right there. If anybody knows the actual name of the channel, please tell me and put it in there. But Paula's amazing. I mean, Paula's amazing and Barbara's amazing too. We had, I know Jocelyn was in here. I know Big Fish was in here. I know Chuck was in here. Chuck's amazing. Charles Godwin, or better known as Charles Manson. You guys are scared the shit out of me. Must be a full moon. The cats are going crazy in here tonight. Beasley was in here. Carol was in here. Tracy's amazing. Tracy's an amazing person, was in here. I think she's the only person that watches my other channel. That's so funny. There's Beasley right there. Thank you, Beasley, for coming in here. Let's see here. Who else was in here? Let's see here. Did I say Farku yet? Farku was in here. It's always good to see Farku. Big Fish. You guys are all so amazing. There's Tracy right there. I believe that's Tracy anyways. I haven't seen Dee Dee for a while either. I hope she's okay. Let's see here. I know that Shibby was in here. Shibby was doing a live. Boston Christian was in here. Boston Christian is awesome. I've known Boston Christian for a long time. Thank you for all the well wishes for my daughter. Appreciate that. She seems to be doing much better now. So, but there's a lot of stuff. Gretchen was in here. There's a lot of stuff going around. So you guys need to be safe. Whooping cough is going around. So hopefully nobody gets that. Let's see here. I'm just trying to say goodnight to everybody here. Who else was in here? Nice crowd tonight. Good people. Amy was in here. Amy G was in here. Amy G is amazing. She's got a great channel. Daisy Asks. like I said, I'll be making my rounds again to all these other channels here once I get back in the saddle here. All amazing channels though. Awesome people. All right, so let's get out of here. If I missed anybody, I apologize. And for people who watch on the replay, I know people watch a lot on the replay, so I appreciate that. You love the music reviews. Thank you, Tracy. Jocelyn's awesome. There she is. Amazing people. You guys are all great. I really appreciate that. Thank you for that, Tracy. Appreciate that too. Whatever you guys do, don't die this week. I'll see you guys late Saturday night, early Sunday morning, but I'll put out a notification about that too. Same bad time, same bad channel, pretty much. All right, so let me get out of here. Let me y'all have a great week. Thank you very much for coming in. Like I said, Dino was in here too. Mino Dino was in here. Mino Dino's awesome. And I hope Heather's doing well. All right, so let's play my outro and I'll get out of here. Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to 2026. Let's go here. Have a great week, guys.